Can you characterize everything that the Fed has done this past week as essentially flooding the system with money?
Yes, exactly.
And there's no end to your ability to do. Can you characterize everything that the Fed has done this past week as essentially flooding the system with money?
Yes, exactly.
And there's no end to your ability to do that.
There is no end to our ability to do that.
Is the Fed just going to print money?
That's literally what Congress has told us to do. That's the authority that they've given us to print money and provide liquidity into the financial system. And that's how we do it. We create it electronically, and then we can also print it with the Treasury Department, print it so that you can get money out of your ATM. I heard from a bank in our region, a well-to-do customer came in and said, I want to withdraw $600,000 of cash. Now, we can supply all the cash that the banks need to meet their customers' concerns, but it just speaks to the fear and the uncertainty that is rippling through the economy.
To the person who is about to grab their car keys and go to the ATM and take out $3,000, you say what?
You don't need to. Your ATM is safe, your banks are safe, there's enough cash in the financial system, and there is an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve. We will do whatever we need to do to make sure that there's enough cash in the banking system.
Will the Federal Reserve ensure that banks have all the cash they need to satisfy whatever withdrawals may be coming?
Yes, this is the fundamental reason the Federal Reserve exists.
Crazy looking dude is the one speaking in our headlining topic for the day. I figured I'd run that intro.
Nice.
I don't know.
That's a good intro.
I don't know
George
where
might
Trey-
be ready to tell him bye. I'll be popping it out. I'm trying to get breakfast started.
This is breakfast right here. Well, oatmeal cream pie. Breakfast.
I cooked some eggs this morning. That was about it for us. Got up and watched the sunrise.
Oh, don't you know that's what Nazis do?
Cook eggs or watch sunrise?
Cook eggs. Well, probably both, but
I'm okay with that. I got no problems.
And work out. Start working out.
There was literally a post. I don't know if you guys saw it. It went viral kind of yesterday. It was just like some eggs, like this is what Nazis do. Like they had like 12 eggs, and then they were cooking them in the pan, all in one pan together, and like, oh, this is my breakfast or something like that. Somebody's like, and somebody just comments like, this is what Nazis do. And I was like,
that's funny because.
Oh no, they were dead serious. They were dead serious.
That's really funny because Hitler was actually a vegetarian.
Yeah. Was he? Did he? No, he didn't eat like cheese and eggs like the fake vegetarians.
No, that's
right?
that's you're talking about vegan. So vegans.
Yeah, he wasn't a vegan. He was
vegetarian.
Just a vegetarian. You're right. He ate meat and he
had one fault.
Yeah, he didn't eat meat, but he ate
he had one fault. I get that. So I got a good story time for you guys.
Okay.
So we get to the airport to fly on our first flight, and we get to our seats, and the seats are like really nice. So actually, the comfortable airplane seats are not the ones made for midgets. So I get in my seat, and I'm like, "Oh, this is awesome." Not worried about like people right next to me as much as I usually am because I'm not exactly small. But then about 5 minutes later, the person that comes up with her daughter to sit next to me is literally as wide as she is tall. And instead of putting her daughter in the middle, she put herself in the middle. So a third of her was in my seat, which was not comfortable. So anyway, so I get up about halfway through the flight. I get up to go walk around the plane and get some air. And then my wife informed me after I got back, after the next flight, that after I got up, she pulled out what is referred to as a snackle box. Have you heard of this? I've never heard of this.
No.
A snackle box apparently is a tackle box full of snacks all in order. So she had to pull out the snackle box while I was gone to eat more food while I was gone. And so that was my first flight.
Wait. What?
I saw this.
What does all in order mean? Like, there's a particular.
Oh,
like,
it was like all in order. So everything was. I mean, there's like
Sequential.
multiple
Like-
things
like-
of like goldfish were all in
sweet.
one order.
Yeah.
The sweet. Yeah. So like in the snackle box, and I'm using air quotes, had all these like snacks that they were enjoying while I went to the bathroom and walked around the airplane because I wanted to breathe. It was one of the
Clearly they
most
don't wanna breathe.
uncomfortable flights I had ever been on in my life.
Clearly, she didn't want to breathe.
Yeah. So
Just
it
eating
was a very uncomfortable 2 hours.
knackle box. See, I thought that was a TikTok meme thing. I didn't think it
No,
was gonna be real.
it's a real thing. Apparently, it's apparently a real thing.
The fats, they're learning from the TikTok.
So yeah, a snackle box. I was just blown away. Anyways, that's Steve. That's story time with Steve. Carry on.
Did the chick with the snackle box look a little bit something like this? Absolute snack right here.
He definitely looks like a Biden voter. Pretty much.
Hey, my fellow ladies out there. So men think on you. Take it from somebody that used to be a man. Boobs, you got a JJ. Guess what, honey? You own them. Trust me, they want it. Make them earn it.
Oh my god, this has got to be a troll, right?
Can we please make that a?
Hey, this is going to be
intro.
the primary representative of the 4B movement, you guys.
Can we please make that an intro, please.
Oh god.
That needs to be one of the new intros that we were talking about.
But then he'd have to sit here and edit and look at that ugly thing for like 30 minutes or so.
It doesn't take me that long to edit an intro. I'm just lazy. Wow, that is impressive. I mean, just speaking of the 4B movement, apparently this is something that's been happening more regularly with said movement.
Not sure why no one understands how I feel. You guys know that my husband turned Republican this term. I don't know why. I threw his ass out of the house. And I have to do more. I don't want to shave my head because that's going to hurt him. I'm going to look ugly. So I'm not doing that. I think I'm going to sleep with his friends. I think that's the only way. I think sleeping with his friends will do. What do you guys think? His liberal friends, of course.
I was going to say, his liberal friends might take you up on it. His actual, real friends are going to go bros before hoes, and they're not going to touch your crazy ass with a 10-foot fucking pole.
I think this man dodged a bullet, spending the rest of his life with her.
Right? All the dudes that, their wives are moving out and divorcing them and stuff, it's y'all got lucky, dude.
Wanted to win. Yep.
Yeah, you could have been stuck with this crazed bitch for who knows how many more years before she finally snapped and stabbed you in your sleep because of losing the right to get an abortion, even though she's been sterile for 10 years. I don't know. You never know with these. That's the craziest thing about the voting demographics and stuff, and the ones who abortion was the number one issue in this election. They're all 65-year-old white women. Their vagina
they're all in menopause.
Their vagina shriveled up and died years ago. They're not having kids. What are they worried about? Yeah, they're all menopausal. I'm sure their husbands haven't turned them in a decade. What are they worried about? What do you need? Oh, good God. Did you see the one? Did we play it Monday? The one that said they're putting their 17-year-old daughter on birth control since abortion is going to be illegal now. It's so you were just encouraging your 17-year-old daughter to go out there and bang random dudes without protection and get pregnant?
And all because of Trump.
You people.
And all because of Trump too.
Right. These are your
you're that mentally ill.
Fuck that. These people are insane. I mean, obviously, we already knew they were insane, but like,
That's why I said deport them all. No
well,
matter
and,
what.
like, and then like Thanksgiving's gonna be wild for some folks this year. Not for this chick's parents though.
So last night, I told my mom and dad that because they voted for someone who wants me dead.
Who wants her dead? Is there like was there like a local sheriff that's after her or something? Like where does this who wants me dead bullshit come from? It's the dumbest fucking thing ever. Like the statistical anomaly of how infrequent it is that a woman needs an abortion due to the fact that the pregnancy could be a risk to her life is inconsequential. It's like 0.4% of all abortions are because risk to the health and life of the mother. Like that's it.
But it is more than Chase Oliver got votes.
I think they're even. I think that puts them even.
Okay, sorry.
That they no longer have the privilege of having their daughter and their granddaughters in their life. And I told them, never contact me again. I'm never calling you. I want nothing to do with you. And take me out of the will. I have a younger brother who is also a MAGA. I said, when you guys pass away, give him the entire house. I don't want to inherit your house. I don't want anything from you. I don't want to hear from you ever again because I'm no longer safe being in a relationship with you because I'm queer. I'm autistic. I'm like half disabled. I have Lyme disease and POTS and a bunch of other shit. And I'm bisexual. I have 2 daughters and my husband's also bisexual. It's like, I'm no longer safe with people like you. You'd be the first ones to turn me into the schnazis if shit went down here. So I just, to anyone in the comments that's going to say, oh my God, that's so terrible. The left is so hateful. You guys shouldn't be cutting off your family. You know what? I'm not going to fucking go to Thanksgiving dinner with my family and look them in the eye and just play nice anymore. Like, I'm done doing this. I have been gaslit and neglected and verbally abused by my family for being different my entire life. And I've cut off all my aunts and uncles, anyone who voted for Trump, anyone who's a Christian in my family, I know they voted for Trump. So I have like 3 people in between I have 2 people on my mom's side and 1 person on my dad's side left, and they're cousins. Cause yeah. And I have my husband, I have my 2 daughters, and that's all I need. I'm not going to be gaslit, and I'm not going to be gaslit anymore. I'm done living this life.
Does she understand what that word means?
Good riddance. Bye.
I don't think she does. It's the I don't think that word means what you think it means.
I mean, it sounds like she's the one who's gaslighting anyway.
Right, and
it's funny.
And also, like,
gaslight is like the new favorite word of that generation.
Well, and also,
Yeah,
like 100% of her problems are self-created. Like,
yeah,
everything that she was like, I'm queer and I'm bisexual and I'm this and this and this and I have all these problems. Like, all right, like Lyme disease, I get. Like, you probably couldn't help that, but maybe the autism. But are you actually autistic, or are you like self-diagnosed autistic? Like, are you autistic like Trey, or are you like for real autistic? Like, you know,
or is she just retarded?
And yeah, we're not in the show just yet, but yeah.
No, I didn't mean that in the show. I just like
don't tempt me, Steve. I'll hit this button. I'll hit this button. I'll go to bed. Yeah, I mean, like 100% of our problems are self-created, which is the entire thing about this whole like 4B and all of the like all of these liberal women just losing their shit. Like 100% of this is just manifested in their own brains. I did mine.
Did you notice
my show last week, The Handmaid's America, and I talked about this. Like everything about this is just a manifestation of their own fear and their own like warped brains. None of this shit is actually real.
Did you notice she said that they all ignored her, but then at the next sentence she says she cut them all off? Like,
right.
Dumb bitch. Like, of course they ignore you because you cut them off. Like, what do you want? like you're mad because they ignored you, but then you say you cut them off in the next sentence. Like, just insane.
It's nuts. Well, and talking about these, how crazy these people are, and the intolerant left. This was a really interesting video. I fucking got it. Damn.
Good job.
I was trying to be real subtle about it and like just kind of try to like grab it, and it kept evading me, but I got it that time. This was an interesting video, and
this is a good video.
Yeah, and I've seen similar stuff to this before. Like, people have kind of run this sort of a social experiment a number of different times, both during the Kamala Trump showdown, and during the Biden Trump showdown, and during the Hillary Trump showdown. Like this is proved pretty consistent across the board for the last 8 years. But hear from that.
I made 2 separate videos before the election. One of the videos said I was going to vote for Kamala Harris. The other video said I was going to vote for Donald Trump. And I just wanted to see the mixed reactions from people and how people would react, because I do a lot of work for my hometown, do a lot of work for my community. I work with young boys. And I never said who I was voting for. But I made those 2 videos because I wanted to show people how they are in reality. I made the Donald Trump video and I made the Kamala Harris video. Under the Kamala Harris video, you definitely had some Trump supporters like, well, we understand that you may have a different opinion or whatever, but we still support what you do. Maybe you'll wake up one day, et cetera, et cetera. Things like that. It wasn't nothing vile, wasn't no bad comments or nothing. I made the Donald Trump video. I got people that unfollowed me. I got people saying they can't support nothing I do no more. I got folk calling me all types of names, et cetera, et cetera. But what's crazy is all of the Kamala Harris supporters have become what they accuse Trump supporters of being. When you say you support Donald Trump, y'all be ready to kill him. Y'all ready to burn them at the stake. You calling them all types of names. You unfollowing them. You don't care what they're doing for their community. Nothing. If you support Trump, F you, I hate you so much, et cetera, et cetera. But all the people under the post, all the Trump supporters, when I said I was going to vote for Kamala, it was all love anyway. They was like, well, we still support what you're doing. We still going to donate. We still love the work, even though you don't have to support Donald Trump, et cetera, et cetera. So I've only received hate from the people that call themselves the tolerant side, the side that's supposed to be about love, the side that's not about hate. But it's crazy because anytime somebody doesn't agree with you, all you spew is hate. All you give is hate. So it's funny how everybody who calls themselves Democrats, you have turned into what you accuse the Republicans of being.
Yeah, I mean, it's nuts how frequently this seems to be the case. And I've followed a number of others who have done sort of similar social experiments to see how things are going, and or to see how things go when they post, I'm voting for Trump versus I'm voting for Hillary, I'm voting for Kamala, I'm voting for Biden. And it's kind of nuts the way it always goes the same way. Like, especially if it's somebody that they're viewing it so that it's obviously a religion. Like, we know it's basically their religion at this point. So when you say I'm supporting Donald Trump, what they view that as their Satan. Like that's literally their Satan. The way they call him Hitler for a reason. That's Satan to them. So whenever you say I worship or I'm voting for Satan, that essentially to them that that's like the response you would expect from like a devout like Christian, like I support Satan. Well, like I rebuke you. That's essentially what they're doing. They're like, I rebuke you because you support Satan. I rebuke you. Go away. Get thee away from me, kind of thing. That's what it is. Well, and most Christians I know, if somebody was like, yeah, I'm going to the Satanic Temple now, and be like, well, I mean, I hate that that's the choice you made, but what's it like? There's a guy at work that he used to work on my block that he's I don't know how he got into it, but he started attending the Satanic Temple. And like, do I agree with it? No. Did it give him a sense of belonging in a community and something that like kind of helped him, I don't know, make connections and stuff? Yeah, he seemed to be like better for it, just like mental health wise and stuff. It's like, I mean, I wish he would have joined a church instead of a satanic temple. But I mean, tell me about it. What's like? What do y'all do? You know, it's like, okay, I wish you would have made a different choice, but whatever. We can talk about it. You know, I'm not. I'm also not the like browbeat people. Like I have written about this as well on my Substack. Like beating people over the head with the Bible is not a positive way to bring them to anything. Like just being a good human being and being a good friend. And
you just haven't done it right.
You didn't actually beat him over the head with the Bible.
Yeah, I don't believe you.
That's the problem. I was going like flat side. You gotta go spine so you really drive it in.
Yeah.
So because
or the top, you know, kind of cram like a cartoon, like cram it down.
Oh, not on the forehead. You got to go right over right to the crown.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So because I can't put it on here because I can't do a screenshot on here, I put it in the Signal chat. There is 2 screenshots I have of a guy that claims that his son, and I heard this on another podcast, claim that their sons are getting these text messages saying that they have to go pick cotton next week. You have to find those on the Signal chat and post those. Like, there's this whole thing going around.
I thought did we not cover that last time? Was that?
Did you guys cover that? I don't know. I wasn't.
Yeah, I thought we covered it Monday. It was like,
oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Sorry about
all the Juicy Smollett things that didn't happen, this didn't happen the most. Like,
no, I think it got sent out. I do think it got sent out because there's reports of it all over.
I mean,
but
I think it was just some teenagers like being dicks, you know.
Well, the suspicion on No Agenda was they were saying that it was because you can spoof phone numbers. So, and you have to buy into it to do that. And who else has the financing to buy into it other than the DNC?
I don't know. They're reeling a bit. Kamala Harris raised $1 billion and still managed to lose.
Go in debt?
Yeah, still managed to go 20 million in debt. I mean, 10 million to Beyonce, 5 million to Megan the Stallion, 1.8 million to Eminem.
Well, the suspicion is I can't believe Eminem went for that little.
They spent like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Well, Eminem was an early on one. Like they had to ramp up the spending as it went, and to get the more high profile people. Like Eminem,
how much you want to bet
Eminem just fucked up, and he was the Kamala supporter too early. Like if he had held on for a while and like teased that he might go endorse Trump or something, he probably could have squeezed another 4 or 5 million out of it.
But how much do you want to bet that's a money laundering scheme like everything else that side does? They kick back half of it to the DNC. Because you know everything else they do is money laundering. You know the whole Ukraine war is money laundering.
The problem with campaign financing is it's very, very tightly tracked. So that would be
unless you're a Democrat. And then it's not.
Well, but
unless you're Eric Adams. I mean, look at what they're doing to Eric Adams. It's very tightly tracked. The information is there.
Well, you could do this though, Justin. Like they could give him the money, and he could say, "Hey, I'm gonna you pay me for this, and I'll donate half next election cycle or something like that." That's not an illegal thing to do. If they paid you to come there, and then you said, "Hey, I'll donate back to the campaign next campaign or whatever." Like. I don't think there's.
Or not even donate camp. They just like then they just start
give it back.
Yeah, they just give it back in another form to the actual candidate themselves. I mean, you know that was happening with what was the group that got busted? The Sam Bankman-Fried. What was his group? They got busted.
Oh, the FTX thing?
Yeah, they got busted. And they were doing that. They were laundering money back, not to the DNC, but to Biden through
crypto.
Ukraine.
No, he was doing it through crypto.
No, but they were doing it through the Ukraine too. Through not the Ukraine, through Ukraine.
The Ukraine, yes.
Yeah, sorry.
It is the Ukraine.
I had a retard moment there. Sorry.
It will always be.
You're trying to be Kamala Harris.
Yes, trying to be Kamala Harris. You got to say it right.
I went to Europe. It's a country in Europe, okay? It's a country in Europe.
It's like Dr. Joe Biden.
I love this. I love the like I know we've already talked about it, but the fact that they still haven't given up the fact that like oh, he cheated. Starlink. I even saw a funny, like, so, a Trump supporter made it like a funny meme. He was like, this, I just opened a Starlink, and guys, you wouldn't believe this. And it had like, like a crystal, like magic crystals, which the crystals have kind of been a meme. But then it had, like vote, like it had like a wire saying like send votes to Trump or something like that. I don't know. It's just so funny.
That's awesome.
Well, the reason that they're still hanging on to so much hope that Trump or that Kamala actually won is because they're afraid they're going to end up having to like mow their own lawns and take care of their own yards and stuff.
Yeah, you get rid of all the slave labor.
Yeah, if all the illegals get sent back.
So your lawn maintenance is about to skyrocket because 90% of workers in the lawn maintenance industry come from Mexico. And whether they're here legally or not, Stephen Miller, who Trump's going to put in charge of his mass deportation project, is going to deport them. We're also going to deport people who are naturalized citizens. These are jobs that Americans will not do. Okay? American families are not letting their young adults work in the lawn maintenance industry. These companies
Yes, they
are
are.
owned by Americans. But
Every single one around here is a bunch of white
so
dudes.
not only will it be
there's some
harder
Hispanic
to find
ones.
a company, the
but-
prices are going to double and triple. And this is going to affect a lot of other industries. It's
You
going
might have to cut your own lawn,
our
bitch.
food supply and the housing industry, because I don't know if you know this, but there's not a lot of Americans lining up to haul cement in and out of buildings. So good luck.
I mean, is every building
All
made
right.
out of cement?
Number
How
one.
do you haul it out? Like, what does that mean?
Number
Yeah, I
one.
don't-
Why the fuck don't her eyebrows ever move? Like they stay perfectly
They're
still.
drawn on. They're drawn on. Justin.
That terrifies me. I pick up on the little things like that, and like there's something wrong with this bitch. Her eyebrows don't move.
Yeah, if like a lot of women do it now. Apparently, they'll shave them and then they'll draw them back on
Why?
because you can make them look more symmetrical or whatever.
That's like a '60s thing, man. My mom used to do that.
No,
They're
it's
They're
like
just
making
mad they don't have big, beautiful caterpillars like these.
Yeah, right.
I mean, if you're gonna draw them on, at least make them look impressive. Huh? What the
Yeah.
fuck? That's just like two little hooks. Huh?
Until you get up close, and then you're like, "Oh my god, those are drawn on." Would they be pissed if you got a Sharpie and just did a Sharpie marker over their eyebrows?
Just squiggly line it on there.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
Give it a little character. But yeah, I mean, so number one, no, I guess that's number one was the eyebrow. So number two, where did she pull this? Like 90% of the lawn care workers are from Mexico. Like,
Because she's in California.
Is that just the ones that are in her neighborhood? And also,
Yeah.
how many of those are actually like legal, like have lived in California ever? Like
probably like at least half of them.
right, second, third generation. What was the? Did you see the meme? It was like, in 1850.
I mean, there's like a sign down here that says like Three Amigos Lawn Care. It's like a hand-drawn sign that says Three Amigos Lawn Care or something like that. That one, I'm pretty sure is staffed with illegals. I would have to guess. But I mean, there are some like legitimate like Mexicans that live around here that do that kind of stuff. But a lot of, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just my community. But there's a lot more like kids and stuff doing that kind of stuff now.
See, they took away all the work. All the illegals took away the work from the kids. Like,
there was a meme that was like, in 1850, California became a state. It had no money. Most of the population spoke Spanish, and no power or indoor plumbing. And now it's 2024 and nothing's changed.
yeah, right. Especially with all of them going to the bathroom on the street.
That's like, but she talks about like the construction thing. There is a huge work site downtown in Evansville where they're building, I don't know, some massive ass building. Probably going to be a fucking parking garage, but I don't know. Anyway, there's a couple dozen workers running big equipment and pouring concrete and doing all the foundation work and everything every single day when I go down there to pick up and drop off Katie from school. I have not seen anything but white dudes down there, like all white dudes, and most of them are like
they want it done right.
Most of them are like older white dudes.
Because they want it done right.
Where are all these, like, yes, I know there are like Mexicans that are doing like roofing services and have construction companies like Carlos and that have like lawn cutting service and stuff, but like friend of the show Corey, he's in lawn care and does all of that stuff. Like the kids aren't mowing yards and doing stuff. Like have you like gone out into the country? Like it's nothing but I can't tell you, like since we've moved here, every summer I get hit up with, hey, you want me to mow your yard and do this and that around the house for the summer? It's like no, I have a teenager, and if I'm gonna have a teenager do it, I'll have him do it, but I want it done right, so I'm gonna do it my damn self.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, that's one of my very first jobs. I mowed lawns, bought a lawnmower, started charging my neighbors, and mowed their lawn. But it was like $5 to mow their lawn.
And like, okay, if let's say her and crazy bug-eyed dude from the intro, the Federal Reserve official. Oh, what's his fucking name? Neil Kashkari. Hopefully he gets deported too. What the fuck kind of name is that? He says if you just assume people are either working in farms or working in factories, and those businesses now lose employees, that would probably cause some disruption. The implications are not entirely clear to me. Ultimately, it's going to be between the business community and Congress and the executive branch to figure out how they would adjust. But he's putting out these warnings that deportations could disrupt labor at some businesses. It's like, have you been a part of the business world? Have you seen how hiring and firing and stuff works? Like, a lot of these companies turn over employees pretty quick and have the ability to hire pretty quick and offer pretty decent salaries. So, like, I don't see it. Like,
but nobody's hiring right now. My son's been looking for a job for a while. Nobody's hiring. Everybody says they are, but nobody's actually hiring.
You're in the wrong part of the world, and everybody's hiring around here. Like everybody, all the time.
Yeah. Hey, my son's looking for specific jobs, but...
and that's the thing. If you're looking for something really specific, then yeah, you're probably going to struggle. But like around here, like Toyota is always hiring, and all of Toyota's subsidiaries, the different companies that work for Toyota, and all of these start out at like $20, $22 an hour.
Yeah.
Think whatever you like about it. But AstraZeneca and Meade Johnson, they're always hiring.
Yeah.
Am I back? Can you hear me now?
Yep, can hear you.
Sorry,
I wasn't sure if it was you or me.
No, it's me. My internet's being fucking gay. But like AstraZeneca, Meade Johnson, some of these big. Well, AstraZeneca's a pharmaceutical, and then Meade is in. Well, I can't remember how Meade is exactly qualified, but anyway, like they're also hiring all the time. They start out between $20 and $25 an hour. Like, there's a ton of jobs around here. There's an aluminum plant that I think they start out at like $25 to $28 an hour. Like, they're jobs. Like, and a lot of these places won't hire immigrants because one of the big requirements is you have to be able to speak English. Like, you're not working here unless you speak English. We need you to be able to speak and understand the language that we running the plant speak. So like they're already kind of
I mean, that should be a requirement for every business
Yeah,
in America
it
anyway.
should 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%. Like when you go, it drives me nuts. Like when you go into the bank and they have the teller just to speak to Spanish. You know, they just have one teller that just does Spanish now.
It's just nuts. Well,
Yeah.
and to add to the list of people losing their shit about it, I mean, not that it's a surprise to anybody, but The View, they're not coping well with Trump's border czar, the amazing, unflappable Tom Homan. Let's hear how The View reacted to his appointment.
Look, Donald Trump won the electoral vote. He won. He's going to win the House. He won the Senate. For all effects and purposes, he's got the Supreme Court. They've given him immunity. This is what the country voted for. This is, you know, a lot of people thought that when he talked about mass deportations, he wasn't being serious. I don't know how many times he had to say it for people to realize he was being serious. Well, if you thought he wasn't being serious, the appointment of Tom Homan today as border czar, and he will be in charge of a mass deportation program, the largest the country has ever seen, they say. And now Stephen Miller, as deputy chief of staff, should let you know that he was absolutely serious. And when you talk about mass deportations, people think, oh, it's just going to be the criminals. There's not enough criminals, aliens in the federal prison system for it to be mass deportations. What it means is grandmothers. What it means is brothers and aunts. What it means is abuelos y abuelas. It means dreamers. It means family members. It means your colleagues. It means your friends. It means people who are part of the society. And look, America, you know, those of you who voted for Trump, this is what you wanted. This is what you voted for. You screwed around and you're about to find out.
Actually, I think you're probably about to find out. You sound like you should be on one of the first buses out of here.
The funny thing is, like, she sounds surprised. Like, we all knew we were voting for her.
Right. No, none of us thought like that this wasn't going to be the case. Nobody was like, oh, yeah, he's just joking around. No. Economy and immigration were the top two priorities for Trump voters. Like, and that includes Democrats. That includes people in the swing states that flipped, because they have been seeing this as a massive problem for a while. And that also includes the Hispanics in those swing states that are like, yeah, we came here legally. We went through the whole process. We did what we were supposed to do. Now these people are coming in and they're undercutting us for jobs. I mean, that's something that has been talked about quite a bit, is a lot of the legal immigrants who went through the process, who came to the U.S., became citizens, did the whole thing. They're now earning good money doing all of those jobs, doing all of those jobs, like running their lawn care services and doing roofing and stuff like that, and construction and stuff like that. They're getting undercut by the illegals coming in. They're not any happier about that than white folks. Like, yeah, everybody knew exactly what they were voting for, and now they're just ready for it to. And she can be on the first out.
One of the things I heard floated was that if you came in illegally and you get found and deported, you will never qualify for citizenship.
Good, shouldn't.
Yeah.
Did Trump float doing away with the like birthright citizenship? Like,
yes.
Yeah, he did. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
I mean, that's a huge problem, because we've known it's been a problem, because they've been talks about, like, people running across the border and dropping a baby,
dropping the kid right there. Yeah. The anchor babies, the anchor babies are not.
And then basically they have to guarantee them citizenship through all the asylum and all this kind of nonsense. Well, I mean, I think you should really scope down the asylum stuff, too. Honestly, I would do away with it entirely. But at best, the asylum stuff needs to be very limited. If
he's not even talking about just stopping that. He's talking about retroactively stopping it.
Yeah, well, and then Tom Homan says, they're gonna find 500,000 missing children and save them, and reunite them with their families, and then deport all of them. Like,
Yep.
I love that when they're like, you're talking about splitting up families. He says, no,
No,
I'm not.
deport them all.
He said we can deport families.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why couldn't we? Why wouldn't we send them all back?
I mean, the best part about this whole thing is that we will have years and years and years of material. That's the best part. Like, we're going to get so much material over the next 4 years. It's going to be wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, between Trump and Tom Holman bangers, whoever he puts as his press secretary is probably going to be someone who's going to be fiery, and then just leftist meltdowns. Yeah, I mean,
I want Alex Jones. I want Alex Jones for press secretary.
I jokingly said that now that Trump got elected, I don't have anything to complain about anymore, so I'm gonna stop doing all these shows. Oh no, we're like, the content is gonna get so much better now. Like, now instead of having stuff to complain about, we're gonna have stuff to make fun of and stuff to laugh about and have fun with. Did you see Comcast? I think that's who owns MSNBC is gonna put MSNBC up for sale. See, that's what. Either Elon should buy InfoWars and all of Alex Jones's thing.
I think he's planning on it.
Or buy MSNBC and then make Alex Jones the lead anchor for news on MSNBC. Just like completely fuck the whole thing up.
That'd be beautiful. Yeah, but if you're going to do that, though, you have to keep Rachel Maddow. Make her do a show with Alex Jones.
Have Mad Cow working with Alex Jones. That'd be freaking hilarious.
That'd be the best, dude. That would be such an amazing show. So, who did you see that he floated Rubio for Secretary of State? That can't be real. Please tell me that's not real.
It hasn't been confirmed. All of the other ones that have been rumored have actually been confirmed.
See, I think he floated it to get the reaction.
Yeah, that was my theory. I thought it was a.
Apparently, the Noem pick, Kristi Noem, is officially going to be DHS. So that's.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, Kristi Noem accepted, so that one's legit. But yeah, I haven't. The Rubio.
So she can start banging everybody at DHS then.
The Rubio.
She just gets to shoot more dogs. Like,
okay.
Even though.
Even
though she's not in the ATF, she's she may be in the wrong department, but she's still gonna shoot dogs.
Yeah, she should be in ATF. She's shooting dogs. That's true. Okay, sorry. Go on, Justin. What were you saying?
The Rubio appointment hasn't been confirmed, so it's who knows.
So who should he put in that position? Who would be the best Secretary of State? See, I love Massey and the idea of agriculture, but my God, he would be a great.
He wouldn't be able to negotiate. He wouldn't be. You need somebody cruel, because they're going to be interacting with other countries.
I don't even like Massey for the Secretary of Agriculture. I want Massey in the fucking House. Stop taking everybody who's in the House and the Senate and actual good politicians. Stop taking them out of the spots that they're in and find other people to fill these spots. That
was part of the Rubio thing. Like, some people, I and some other people were postulating that, okay, maybe he pulls Rubio in there because Rubio can negotiate with other countries. I would think he would be pretty effective at it. He's still gonna want to talk about war and all this kind of stuff, but at best, Trump can probably control him a little bit better. Little Marco, listen, you're gonna do what I say, little Marco. Then the Senate seat. So the Senate seat, it's been reported that if that were to happen, maybe it would be Laura Trump would take that position. So that would be. I don't necessarily like. I don't know. Laura Trump is just kind of bad to me, but if it's somebody who we know would probably vote more along the lines of the way we would want them to vote, I mean, I guess.
Yeah, I think as far as like Secretary of State goes, I've seen Tulsi Gabbard floated around. I don't hate that. I don't know. Somebody that's
I just don't trust mommy milkers. Okay, I just don't trust mommy milkers at all. A lot of people see the mommy milkers and they go crazy, but
at least if nothing else, she is very anti-war, and for foreign policy, in terms of foreign policy, as Secretary of State, that would be a good person to have in that.
Exactly, Magoo. Magoo's right. Either they're going to do what Trump says, or they get fired, and he gets to basically be like the apprentice again, and like, you fired.
Yeah, and that's
he fired for all the people like, oh, he made bad appointments his first term. I mean, he fired a lot of them though. After he realized like, hey, this guy's a dick and he's not doing what I say, like he fired them. So, and that's why a lot of them turned on him, because he fired them.
Yeah. Did you watch the Rogan interview?
Yeah, we all did.
Okay. That was one thing he said in that interview, was like, they weren't set up. So they had to pick from who was there. So I think now he's set up and can pick people. But I agree with you, Justin. Like, why would you pull people out of the Senate? I mean, now you have a chance of, of losing the seat.
You were breaking up. I don't know if it was you or me.
Why would you pull somebody out of the Senate when you have a chance of losing that seat? That doesn't make any sense to me.
You don't have a chance of losing it if you appoint them. But I mean, the next cycle, you could have the potential to lose that seat. But in the short term, you have the seat. But with not Massey, I think what Justin's getting at is that Massey has some loyalty and a lot of like personal like trust built up from the people that he's his constituents. So he's gonna keep staying in the House until in perpetuity until he basically retires.
Yeah.
But if you pull him out of that seat, then whoever runs next, who the hell knows?
Yep. Yeah, that's why I want to keep people in there that are gonna be good. We lose everybody?
All right, I think I'm back. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Exactly. That's literally what I've been saying, Magoo. They're like, oh, this appointment, that appointment, it's so bad. Oh, he's appointing all neocons again. Oh, where?
Well, and then you get all the oh, he's a Zionist. She is a Zionist. That one took money from the Jews. That one took money from the Jews. Yes. For those of you who aren't aware and have never had an inkling of understanding how you like get into power in politics, that's how. Unless you're Thomas Massey and just have the clout in your district to weather the storm of them throwing $200 million at another candidate and still win by 60, or still win like running away. Like we had a representative candidate here in Southern Indiana that was he was very anti-Israel when the whole October 7th stuff happened, and anti like sending money to Israel, and they threw a metric fuck ton of money at his opponent in the primary back in April or May, and ended up winning going away. Like that's how you get to be in power at that level, is you say the right things and you get the money from the right people. It's like that, and that's like the crazy thing, because remember when Meloni, the Italian president, when she got elected, there was all the, oh, look, she's done this and this with the WEF. And then Milei gets elected in Argentina, and they're like, oh, look, he's on the website, on the WEF website, having done this. It's like, okay, you don't get to these levels outside of being Donald Trump. You don't get to these levels of power on the global stage unless you have done certain things to get yourself a foothold into that. Just because they
I mean, even
wrote a
Tulsi
piece
and
for the
Ron DeSantis,
WEF
I think,
15 years ago doesn't mean they're a WEF puppet. It means they understand that you have to rub elbows with the right people in order to attain power. And people who don't understand the dynamics of power and don't understand what winning actually means, they're always going to be like, "Oh my God, look, it's so terrible," because they don't understand what it takes to win. And that's a shame, because they're probably the people who deserve to win the most, but they never will, because they can't fathom actually being able to just do what's necessary to win.
Yes, you're correct.
Sorry.
Who's Kash Patel?
I don't know.
Who's that guy?
But he
Sorry, I
what
just lost the
I was gonna
article.
pull it out here, but
Kash Patel is
these guys need to
FBI
read.
director.
These guys need to read 48 Laws of Power. Like this, if you read that, you understand how people attain and get into power. Or read The Prince, Machiavelli. Like read those two books, and you understand like how power actually functions. Because you don't sit there and disparage people who are going to be like. There's been a lot of talk about like patronage, and like, oh, we need patronage. Like we should be being get patronage from the people that we're voting for. And that's what a lot the Democrats kind of do. They give patronage to their clients, which are like BLM or whatever else, which they pissed off BLM now or whatever, that kind of stuff. So, but you're supposed to give patronage, and that's part of how the government kind of functions now, is like they get patronage, the people who say the right thing. So if I say, hey, we got to do whatever it takes to protect Israel, whatever, it doesn't matter if it costs us 18 trillion, we're going to defend Israel, kind of thing. Then I'll get donations from the right people that are wanting me to support Israel in that conflict or whatever. So, saying the right things, being the right kind of person that they want to support, and then they give you patronage.
Yes.
So what were you saying about Kash Patel?
He's going to be, well, it looks like they're floating him for FBI director. He says he's going to clean house.
That was the guy that was calling for declassifying all the JFK stuff, declassifying the 9/11 stuff, releasing the Epstein and Diddy list. Like, yeah, do it.
Oh,
make
yeah.
him the FBI
Oh, let's say the
director.
Diddy party list.
Drop it all. Release everything.
Or else one of the bros gets oiled. If you don't release it.
A former intelligence director, one of Trump's loyal guys. Yeah, check him out.
Oh, he
Kash
went on
Patel.
Sean Ryan.
I know I've
like,
heard the name. I just don't know him very well. I don't know much about him.
Well, that's like John Ratcliffe, who I think is going to end up being the director of the CIA. He's another like.
He's already been nominated.
Oh, he is. So he is
Yeah.
definitely okay. Cool. Well, that's excellent. He's a Trump loyal guy that is. Trump is putting the right people who have the right loyalties in the right spots. Whether you agree with Rubio or some of the other names and maybe some of the things that they've said in the past, they serve the purpose of they are super loyal and they're going to do what needs to be done to carry out campaign promises that Trump made along the way. At least on paper.
I hope so. I hope Rubio does. I hope Rubio turns a leaf and.
Well, I mean, he's kind of been
on
on a arc because he's kind of been on a little bit of an arc because he has been he turned a lot of his after the primaries of 2016 or whatever. It seems like he's kind of gotten in line with like, hey, Trump is a good guy, but then I don't know if he's effective as Secretary of State, but I mean, as far as loyalty goes, I think
and
he's a lot.
Like somebody else had pointed out on Twitter, Rubio is kind of a political mercenary. Like, and he's good at understanding what direction the winds are blowing. And if he sees a rise in power and sees that aligning himself with that power is going to be good for him, then he's going to do whatever he needs to do to align with that power and make sure that the power stays in power. Like he's gonna saddle up and hook on with Team Trump, and Team Trump being successful is his step to more success personally. So he's not gonna like actively try to fuck that over. I don't think Rubio has ever been, to my knowledge, the fuck somebody over guy. He's just the ride the coattails and make the most out of it and do everything you can to capitalize on that power as it's on its rise. And again, and like it's one of those things that he and Rick Scott, when Rick Scott was the governor of Florida, like they've said things that make the altists mad, but it's things that if you understand how elections work and you understand how dumb the average voting populace is, like you say these things, but because it's the things that the morons want to hear. Like it doesn't mean that you actually believe any of that shit or that you're even going to carry through and do anything about it. But you say it because it's what they want to hear. Because, you know, as we talk about all the time, like the people are retarded.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.